Good afternoon. I want to send a quick little email video kind of out to you. We have a test on Tuesday. Students received a worksheet today to help them study. I want to make sure that they understand that they can send pictures of their work to me. I will gladly look at it this weekend, send them all the feedback that I can in order to help them be successful for Tuesday's test. So you can kind of see what the expectation for the test is. There's no visuals on this test. It's only applying the rules that we have learned in multiplying and dividing fractions. If we look at the concept we have here, multiplying and dividing fractions, all these problems, the fractions are already in a fraction form, so there's no mixed numbers on this first section. The big key that I told students, multiplying fractions, we multiply straight across. That means when I see that I'm multiplying, it's numerator times numerator, denominator times denominator. Numerator, numerator, denominator times denominator. Multiplying fractions is that way every time. When we're dividing fractions, we want to multiply the first fraction by the reciprocal of the second fraction. And again, this idea of the reciprocal, the inverse, we're going to flip this second fraction. So when I'm dividing, my first fraction stays the same. That's the amount of what I have. I don't want to change that. I can't change the original amount or else I've changed the math. So my first fraction stays the same. And now instead of dividing by 3/11, we're going to multiply by the reciprocal of that. It becomes 11/3. We have a multiplication problem, so now I can just multiply straight across, 11/27, and that is the simplest form of this. So that's one thing. The other piece that we have is when we have mixed numbers. Anytime we multiply or divide with mixed numbers, we must make them improper. Meaning the numerator is going to be greater than the denominator. So to do this, I take my whole number, I multiply it by the denominator. 3 times 7 is 21, and then I add the numerator, which is 2. 21 plus 2 is 23. I keep the original denominator, so that 7 here stays the same. I'm going to rewrite the division problem because a lot of times that's where the error occurs. All I want to do here is change the mixed number to improper. 1 times 4 is 4, plus 1 is 5, and I keep that denominator the same. Now I'm following the exact same rules that I had on that other side. I'm dividing with fractions, so to do that, I'm going to multiply the original by the reciprocal of this second one. So instead of dividing by 5/4, we're going to multiply by 4/5. And then it's just straight across. The other piece of it is we have word problems here. When we have these word problems, we want to look and make sure what we're doing. So the whole key is just reading and thinking, is my answer going to be larger or smaller? If it's larger, I know I need to multiply. If it's smaller, I know I need to divide. One of the neighborhood cats had 6 kittens, all the same size. Each new kitten weighs about 5.5 ounces. How much would all weigh? Well, that tells me that if each is 5.5 and I want to know all, that number's got to get greater. So I have 5.5 times 6. The 5.5 ounces times the number of kittens we have. I make this into an improper fraction. It becomes 11/2 times 6. Any whole number to multiply, we can place that over 1. Let's see, we'll pick another one. For one of the science experiments, the class used 10.5 quarts of water. If there are 7 groups doing the experiment and each group used the same amount, again, key right here, each group used the same amount. How many quarts of water did each group use? So now I'm looking, well, if together they use 10.5 quarts, and I want to know how many quarts at each group, I'm going to divide this. So now I know that is The total, I want to know individually each group. Again, I'm dividing a mixed number, needs to be turned improper. 10 times 2 is 20, plus 1 is 21 over 2, divided by 7 over 1. First step, just rewrite it. Now I can apply my rule. 21 over 2 times 1/7. And now I can follow my multiplication rule. I can solve it, and I want to make sure that I have my units there in the end. If you have questions, please email me. Let me know, and we'll work on it. Make sure that for this test you are ready, but that is what the test will cover. Thanks.